Welcome back. Welcome back to the Stadium Seat Sports Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Coop, here with my partner and co host, Kriv. And today, the game we're going to be previewing here is going to be number 6 Miami taking on Louisville. This is a really interesting game here because Miami's been kind of, skating by over the last, several weeks to a month. Where they had kind of started out dominant, and Louisville sitting there at 4-2, a little bit of a dangerous team, maybe slept on a bit. And so I'm kind of interested to hear your thoughts on this game, and then I'll give you my thoughts and kind of give you, what I expect to kind of be the outcome of this game. But I'll throw it over to you. Let you start us off.
Yeah, so for me, typically when you see a number 6 team in the country, even though it's a conference game on the road, but they're facing an unranked team, you don't usually see a spread as small as -4.5 in a game like that. And I think the last few weeks for Miami have shown, one, that they're very beatable, and two, Cam Ward is the end-all be-all, and he kind of covers up a lot for Miami's deficiencies. Obviously, he had a great second half against Cal to squeak out that 1-point win on the road. They definitely should have probably lost that game, but they just flipped a switch and got out of there with a win, which is all that matters. And then, of course, the previous week, they were a Hail Mary throwaway, a booth review throwaway from losing at home to Virginia Tech. And for a team to be ranked as high as Miami, you don't typically see games end that close that frequently. I think it's common to an extent to see a team kind of barely pull out a win here and there when you're that highly ranked. Like, those scares happen, but the fact they had those 2 scares back-to-back weeks, I don't think that bodes well for them in this matchup with Louisville. And Tyler Shows had a great year. He's been highly efficient. They do have 2 losses, obviously, but I just like them in this matchup. As I said, Tyler Show is going to have a great chance to put up some good numbers against this Miami defense. Miami gave up 34 points to Virginia Tech. They gave up 38 to Cal, and Louisville's better than both those teams. They definitely have the talent. They have Brown at running back. I mean, they have some real good players, and they've honestly underperformed to this point. I don't think they're a true 4-2 team where you're like, oh, they've lost a few games already, they're going to lose a few more. They were preseason kind of teetering on a sleeper type team, and I think this is going to put them back on the map, and it's going to kind of open the ACC up, and it's going to put them at 3-1 in the ACC, and Miami's going to get that first loss.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you hit on a lot of great points, and as I had kind of alluded to in the introduction, Miami's been kind of skating by, by the skin of their teeth the last few weeks to a month or so. And you hinted at it with that Hail Mary pass. That, was it a touchdown? Was it not? It was called a touchdown on the field, then overturned. Wasn't a lot of evidence to overturn it. That was a big discussion, big kind of controversy coming out of that game. And you touched on it. Like, Cam Ward is fantastic. I think Cam Ward covers up for a lot of the deficiencies that this Miami team has at the moment. But Cam Ward has also shown the ability to be a bit turnover, prone. Not just throughout his career, but in this year so far, he's got 20 touchdowns, which is great, but does have the 5 interceptions, and sometimes those interceptions and turnovers come at very costly times. And I think that Louisville is that kind of team, that kind of sneaker team that could be right there, ready to pounce on an opportunity if Cam Ward, has a costly turnover. I think if Miami is going to win this game, that Cam Ward to Restrepo Miami to pull out this game, at Louisville. But you hinted at it too. Like, Show is no slouch on the other side for Louisville at quarterback. Like, he's thrown for almost 1,700 yards this year. He's got 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Like, he's having a really solid season. And I think that Louisville is one of those teams that you're like, oh, they're 4-2. Like, they must not be, they're kind of middle of the road. ACC must not be that good. But I think Louisville is a lot better than their record shows. I'm not telling you Louisville is going to come in and just dominate Miami in this game. I think it's close. But ultimately, I'm in agreement with you that I would take Louisville in this game. I think that Miami has just been skating by and skating by over this past, month or so. And I think that they're just kind of in the cards to take a loss. And I think that this week may be the week that they take that loss. And that's not going to be ultimately devastating for Miami. You have a 12-team playoff now, like losing one time, sometimes even losing twice is by no means a complete, game changer in terms of your ability to make the college football playoff. But I just think Miami's been playing with fire a lot recently and getting away with it. And I think that this week is the week that it might catch up to them. So I'm also in agreement with you and going to take Louisville in this game.
Yeah, and I also want to point out that Miami's coming off a bye week, and sometimes that can play to their advantage. I mean, they've had a lot of up and down games, obviously, recently, so that bye week was probably welcomed. But also, they have sort of started slow in a few of these games, and starting slow in this matchup is not going to be ideal for them. So coming on the road off a bye, if they can start fast and maybe even get a lead, I like them to try to win this game, but I don't see that happening with all the factors I just mentioned. Being on the road, coming off a bye, that's asking a lot for a team that has struggled at times the last few weeks. And yeah, I think this is Louisville's game for the taking.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point there at the end. And guys, as always, leave us a like, subscription, drop your thoughts down below in the comment section on this game. Would love to hear what you guys think, if you think differently than what Kriv and I both kind of alluded to in this preview here in taking Louisville. And we'll see you guys in the next one.